Tobacco litter is a huge issue due to the effects that it has on the environment and the people and animals around it. Not only does trash from tobacco litter the ground, but it could also pollute the soil and the groundwater, leading to much more severe consequences than just ugly cigarette butts lying around. It seems as if signage informing people of Fresno State's smoke-free campus policy are ineffective, as people who smoke will do so because their addiction is stronger than their need to follow the policies that could potentially be enforced. A brief history of tobacco. The history of smoking and when it actually began is hard to trace, as it has been linked to many countries and as far back as the 1500s. The one thing that is common between the sources of when it actually began is that those who claim to have been the first to smoke were all men, and they all held high-end positions such as captains, governors, or aristocrats. The original mode of smoking also did not contain all the chemicals it does today, and was more related to smoking the actual leaves or herbs, and only in either pipes or cigar form. Image influence and how it has changed. The more individuals attend to social media messages, the more likely they are to assume that these messages have a wide reach and believe that their peers would likewise pay attention to their media messages. The more others are exposed to media messages, the more likely these media messages will have an effect on others' attitudes and behaviors. Influence began as those who smoked being those of a higher class and social standing, and has not really deterred from that image, but has included the image that joining this group will make you accepted by this social class. Legislation around tobacco. Tobacco use began being banned from public places like restaurants and bars due to the health effects on the workers from these establishments. Next, tobacco was banned from areas where children/minors could be present in order to protect their health from secondhand smoke. Smoking restrictions are required, and I can see how the policy should affect Fresno State and how it should be submitted as one of the policies here. Cost of smoking. Smoking-related healthcare costs $13.29 billion per year. Smoking-related losses in productivity are $10.35 billion per year. Prevalence and incidence of tobacco today. In 2016, 11% of adults in California smoked. Nationally, the rate was 17.1%. In 2017, 5.4% of California high school students smoked on at least one day in the past 30 days. And nationally, the rate was 8.8%.
According to the California Health Interview and Survey, we looked at current smoking habits of people who have ever smoked. We compared 2017 to 2001 and got the results of 62.1% have not at all smoked in 2017, 57.2% have not at all smoked in 2001, 16.8% have smoked some days in 2017, 12.6% have smoked some days in 2001, 21.6% have smoked every day in 2017, and in 2001, we had 30.2% who have smoked every day. According to our data, from 2001 to 2017, people have generally reduced their smoking activity from a daily basis to smoking some days. Between 2000 and 2017, more people have reported that they did not smoke at all. More people reported that they smoked some days, and fewer people reported that they smoked every day. Ultimately, people are smoking less because they are more likely to cut down to smoking some days, which led to the decrease in everyday smokers and the increase in someday smokers.
On September 6th, my group and I were asked to conduct an observational study. The observational study was held at California State University of Fresno. We held our survey at the Fresno State Football Stadium and its surrounding areas located off of Bulldog Lane and Cedar Avenue. The purpose of this study was to find and discover any tobacco-related products in the form of waste. For example, vape cartridges, cigarettes, and cigarette butts. With that being said, our methods of collecting the waste around campus consisted of sterile gloves, waste container, and several individuals spaced out to optimize our area coverage. Once we located the waste, we carefully obtained a count of each sample by collecting it and placing it into our trash bag. Once we were done observing the area, our group went back to our classroom to transfer our work into a data sheet. We marked off the areas where there were any tobacco-related products, and we also took into consideration if there were any signage around those areas. Since Fresno State is a smoke-free campus, we wanted to see if people were abiding by the rules held by the university, regardless if school was in session or if it was a sporting or any type of other event.
Fresno State has implemented a smoke-free campus policy. They allow no tobacco, no smoking, and no vaping of any kind. Students, faculty, staff, and visitors are expected to follow these rules and keep the campus 100% smoke-free. Fresno State has even implemented a task force. They promote awareness, such as with no smoking signs around campus. Therefore, ideally, the data our group has collected should reflect there being absolutely no sign of smoking, tobacco, or vaping usage of any kind on campus. The setting where data was collected was in the parking lot, near Bulldog Lane by the Blue Lot in Area 5. After implementation of the no smoking policy on campus, the post-policy data that we collected is as follows. Our group collected 2 cigarettes near the football team's bus by the sidewalk, 5 cigarettes near a porta potty towards the entrance, 1 cigarette further near benches and by staff golf carts, 2 cigarettes along plants, and 1 cigarette closer to the field, 10 cigarettes near no smoking signs, 17 cigarettes along Barstow near the northeast gate. We found a surprising amount of cigarettes near no smoking signs. In total, we recorded 7 no smoking signs in our area. These signs clearly state that there is no smoking at Fresno State, and no one, not students, faculty, or visitors, are allowed to smoke there.
In conclusion, the smoke-free campus policy and the signage that came along with it has been fairly effective within the campus community, but there should be more enforcement at events that outsiders attend. A bulk of our tobacco litter that we found was far from the student entrance, and we found virtually no tobacco litter elsewhere on campus. The average smoker smokes 10 cigarettes a day. The average person sleeps 7 hours a day, leaving 17 hours in the day that a person could be awake. This means that if the smoker smokes their cigarettes at regular intervals, they will be having a cigarette every 1.7 hours. Football games average about 3 hours and 25 minutes. That means that someone on campus for a football game will smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes within that time. 17.1% of the population smokes cigarettes. In 2017, Fresno State football games averaged 5,193 attendees per game. If 17.1% of them were smokers, then 888 out of the 5,193 people would be smokers. This means that the people at the football game at Fresno State could potentially produce more than 1,700 cigarette butts in just one game. While we know that many of them will respect the rules, the potential litter is huge. Because of the fact that people who are addicted to tobacco feel that they need a cigarette, they will be unlikely to respect smoke-free campus rules without repercussion. Furthermore, if they have no ties to the campus, they won't have much to lose if they do get in trouble for smoking. There should be fines implemented to deter this. I would recommend that the campus issue tickets when they catch someone smoking, which will make the offender pay a fine. Even if this fine is only $20, it will make the person think twice about smoking on a smoke-free campus, rather than giving them the impression that if they smoke and get caught not following campus policy, that they will just be asked to put out their cigarette.